Just learn how to tell people that you don't have. Fine, no, that is okay. You tell someone, I don't have money. I have, but I'm going to use it for this. So I refuse to listen to people who tell me that that is too much, that is too much for you, that is going to take you time, that is impossible, you don't have that money. I refuse to listen to such stories, because I really don't like people who inject their fears on me, those people who inflict their insecurities on me, because baby girl, we are different, we have different goals, and we have different strategy of achieving dreams. So I have a dream of owning a house, just a beautiful house like this one or this one. And in my head, the first thing that I put or inserted in my brain or in my head was to find myself a job, a paying job. First of all, I'm not doing the job that I studied. I did social work and administration. I'm proud of that, and I'm planning to practice that when I go back home, hopefully after settling. But I'm not doing that job. I'm doing totally a different job of being a housemaid or a home manager in Saudi Arabia, just because this job, the job I'm doing right now, is paying me thrice. Before I came here, I'd gotten a chance of working, of performing or practicing my profession, but it was paying me less, 3 times less than what this job is paying me. So the first thing that I put in my head was not to work for less money. With my struggles, like I went through a lot when I was studying, I injected a lot financially, my time, the canes I took, the sacrifices that I took to own that degree, it was too much. So there is no way I could settle for less when there is this job that is going to actually pay me thrice what that job was paying me. So I'll talk about that later, why I came here for in a different video. So I decided to secure myself with a paying job, and that was my first step to saving for the house that I want. I decided to come here. I'm earning, yes, I'm earning. And then when I came here, my first plan was to get a land, to secure myself a land, because I wasn't going to build that house on my head, on my father's land. Of course, I had to secure myself with a land, and that's what I did in one of the things that I did in my first year, and I'm proud of that. So first things first, you have to secure, you have to get a job. Of course, there is no way you're going to achieve anything without working, unless when you are someone is like you are a princess, or someone is daughter, like a president's daughter or whatever. So securing I decided to secure myself with a job, and then I decided to secure myself with a plot of land that I'm going to utilize, or that I'm going to use to build my future house on. And then I also refuse to spend a lot of money. I also refuse to do what others are doing. So I refuse to go for wants. Rather, I only spend my money on the needs, those things that I can't do without. When I'm here, I'm getting food, I'm not paying rent. That is okay. I'm proud of that. I'm so happy about that, though soon I'm going to be starting to pay for my own rent. But of course, this thing of not paying rent, it has helped me, it has enabled me to save more, because of course I set a goal that for the time I'm going to stay here, I have to save 90% of what I get, 90% of what I get a month, or 100% of what I get a month sometimes. So when I decide to spend in a certain month, at least I spend 10%. I spend 10%. There's no way I'm going to spend 20%. For what? For what reason? I'm getting put here, I'm not paying rent, I don't have children, and of course there are things that needs me, but sometimes you have to ignore some things, of course. So I ignore some things back home. I pay a deaf ear, I pay a blind eye on certain things, because how about if I wasn't here? How about if I wasn't around? Wouldn't those things be solved by people back home? Of course they would be. And so I also refuse to be an angel to everyone. I refuse to be the savior of my family, because you're not going to impress everyone, and you're not going to take care of everything back home. You're not going to solve every problem in your family. You understand? So sometimes you just have to ignore that, because people back then, like, some people will not understand that you came here with a goal. Some people will think you came here to look for money and then you take care of every problem. No, that is not why I came here. I came here to make myself better, so I have to stick to the plan. Because what if I wasn't around? Wouldn't they find a solution to their problems? They would, right? As long as my goal is not reached, there is no way I'm going to look at anyone's problem. You understand? So I make sure at least I save 90% every month of what I get, by sometimes abandoning some things that everyone thinks I have to take care of. No, that's not my job. Many of them are not going to remember what you did. And if you decide to do everything that they ask you to do, time is going to reach when you want to focus on your goals, and then when you tell someone you don't have money, and then they are going to get mad. Why? Because they are used of you not saying no. So just learn how to tell people that you don't have. Fine, no, that is okay. You tell someone, I don't have money, I have, but I'm going to use it for this. Learn to say no. Learn to say no. You understand? So someone is going to get pissed, but in the future it will make sense. So that is me. That is how I'm trying to save for myself, for my house, and for everything that I'm planning to do next. Another thing that I refuse to do is to live past my standards. Yeah, live past my standards. You know, we are on internet, and these days you see a lot of people making videos, filming videos, luxurious videos, like a lot. They are spending money. Someone is buying an iPhone, someone is buying this, someone is buying that, and then you feel like, of course you have money, you're earning, they pay you every month, and you're like, I can afford that, let me do this. Because sometimes I can look at my friends who are better than me, going to uplift me in one way or the other, that those people who are going to inspire me. So when I look at my friend owning something, of course I congratulate them, I'm happy for them, but I'm not going to do what they have done. Why? Because we earn differently, we have different jobs, and we have different dreams. Basically that. So I'm not going to buy an iPhone just because my friend has bought it. I have my Samsung, it's working well. Like, instead of, for me, according to me, I've not reached to that level of buying. Of course I can afford it, but I've not reached to that level of buying a phone of 4M. Why can't I buy my Samsung at 1.5 and I use that? Of course I'm using it and it is filming good videos, people are appreciating that. What is more important is that I can use it for something constructive, so I can be there. I'm not going to lose anything as long as I'm progressing. So I refuse to live past my standards. Another thing I decided to do is not to listen to people so much. So I decided to give myself peace, to be patient with myself. I decided to be patient with myself because I know great things take time, and I know within time. I wasn't here 5 years back. I was nothing. I wasn't here. I was even thinking about other things, but today I'm here. Why? Because I've been patient. I've achieved whatever I've achieved because of my patience. So I decided to be patient with myself, not to compare myself with anyone else regardless of their statuses. I don't want to do that because I don't want to work under pressure. I don't want to pressurize myself because I don't want to make a lot of mistakes. I want to learn from the mistakes I've made in the past, and I don't want to repeat any mistake that I've made or I've encountered, because sometimes if you put yourself on pressure, you're going to do things and then you regret later. So if it is going to take me 5 years to get my dream house, it is okay. To me, it is okay, as long as I'm progressing, as long as I'm on the right track, as long as I'm keeping myself on my plan, as long as I'm tackling something, you know. So I decided really to be patient with myself, work on myself, and move on my pace, because some people are being supported and then me, I'm doing it myself. So you just have to take your time and believe in yourself. Good things take time, you understand? So don't compare yourself with anyone. Just remember, everything is possible, but give yourself time. Just give yourself time, because you don't want to mess up just because you are rushing things, just because you are comparing yourself with someone else. You are comparing yourself with someone else, someone who is supported in some ways, in different ways, and you don't know how they are attaining that. So I'm just being patient with myself and doing me, really doing me, and yeah, focus on my dreams. I refuse to be extravagant. I don't use money where it's not necessary. I don't. And someone might call me what? Ayinza okumpita omunaku. Is it omunaku? Luganda bachita batya. I don't really love to be extravagant, though I love good things. So instead of buying something every time, every day, I rather buy something that is expensive and it's going to take me for a while than buying these little things every time, because you know cheap things are expensive. Let's say you're buying, let me give you an example of my sewing machine. I didn't want to buy a cheap sewing machine. That's why it took me so long to attain that sewing machine, because if I was to buy a sewing machine of 500, I wasn't proud of that machine. To me, I wasn't proud of it. I didn't want a sewing machine that was below 1M. That's why I took my time, and then when I was ready, I got a good sewing machine that is advanced and can perform a lot of things for me. So at least I know I'm going to use it for a while, for some good years, and I'm going to use that money for something else than buying a sewing machine and after 5 months you buy another one. So I don't want to be extravagant, but I love investing my money in good quality things. You understand? I hope that makes sense to you. I hope you got something that is going to help you in one way or the other. This is Shake My Love, and we talk about development, lifestyle, beauty, fashion, sewing, and many more other things on this channel. So if you are interested in the following, please consider subscribing, hit the notification button, and please leave me a comment. Those comments, I love them. Keep them coming, and tell me what you want to listen to. Tell me what you want me to do for you next. I love you. Bye.